Two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write it down. You like writing things down. Write this down.
Write that down. Write them down. It's like a personal contract with ourselves. Write that down.
Welcome in to the OG edition of Write That Down on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd, the Score North YouTube channel, where we make predictions and put statistics next to those predictions like absolute idiots. Career suicide, if you will. You can see just how wrong we are on a regular basis, boys. And this is, I don't know how many draft predictions you guys are carrying over from Purple Daily, but it's like draft season. The Twins are hot after beating one of the worst teams in baseball history twice. The Timberwolves are up 2-0 on the Suns.
Now that, yeah.
It's a fun time to make some predictions here in the Minnesota sports landscape, gentlemen.
You know, the biggest problem with our tracking of predictions is the fact that not only can the viewers find out how wrong we continue to be, but so can our bosses.
You know, I mean, I think as long as we're sort of entertaining while being wrong, I think they're fine. I think they're fine with it.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Mean, as a reigning defending champion, I feel pretty good. And I don't know about you two, but actually I feel better about my predictions.
You should, because you are better at
I've
this
won
than we are.
a few championships. It's what have you done for me lately, Declan?
In fact, I worry, looking at some of Judd's results here, that maybe Judd's hitting the age cliff, and write that down.
Oh,
Very
Carlos
possible.
Santana.
Yeah, it's ironic how much Judd pounds on Carlos Santana.
You know what?
When looking at his Write That Down performance so far this year.
That's a great idea. I will resign from Write That Down right now if Carlos Santana will retire immediately.
Wow. Well, we kind of need you for this segment, though. So
kind of.
He can replace me. He's going to be looking for something. He's going to be retired.
I would take
Carlos
that
Santana replaces me, but he's no longer playing for the Twins.
So, okay, here's how this works if you're new to the segment. We have a statistical database going back several years here of mostly incorrect predictions, but it's 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable predictions. Those are the rules. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate as a guest listener predictor, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app. We do have Mike scheduled, but we may have some either technical difficulties or scheduling difficulties. So if Mike jumps in, awesome. We'll let him join the party here. Dex, if we could pop up the accountability session on the screen, we will start with Judd. And it's bad, dude.
Oh, my God.
Judd Carlos Santana.
Oh, my God, it is.
It's a bloodbath for Judd this week.
God.
One of the worst weeks in
my history.
Judd's career here.
Yeah.
So we'll just go through them.
Whoa, when was that one? I don't even remember some of these.
You said Karl Anthony Towns will not play in Game 1 of the Wolves playoff series.
You don't have to buzz them all. You can just wait for like.
I'm gonna buzz every other one.
I kind of like it.
Every third. Yeah, you know what? Bleep you.
You said Brooks Lee will have a major league at bat by May 1st, and you said the Timberwolves will remove some or all of the tarps in the upper level before the end of the regular season.
And they didn't. I blame Doogie for that. He told us that Glenn told him that those tarps were coming down.
Well, they did come down for the playoffs, but not for the regular season.
Glenn said it was going to be the end of the regular season. I blame Glenn.
You said Dean Evison will be made an NHL coach before the season is over.
Well, I mean, it should have happened. I mean, none of these are my fault. Have you seen a theme? None of this is my fault. I mean, the receiver didn't run the right route. The left tackle screwed up.
You said the Twins will have patches on their jerseys and the Bulls will fire Billy Donovan in season.
What were the Bulls thinking by not doing that?
I love that you were making Billy Donovan and Bulls predictions.
Because they
a slow week and write that down.
No, they had after their opener, they got blown out. They closed the locker room. Players only meeting after Game 1.
After Game 1, I don't remember that, but that's amazing.
I do, and that's why he should have been fired. So if that could be marked as right, I'd appreciate it.
And then you said Jesper Wallstedt will play at least 5 regular season games for the Wild this season. You know, they just ran out of time on the schedule.
Yep.
The runway wasn't right.
You
know what? If Ty Chandler had just picked up the blitzer, I would have thrown that touchdown pass.
So, yeah, that's a nice fat 0 for 7 for
Thanks, Phil.
Judd Zulgad this week.
As if I can't. As if you going through it, they couldn't have counted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I only had one thing come off the board. I told you guys after Trevor Larnach was called up last week, I said, hey, I ride with Trevor Larnach, former first-round pick. People write these guys off way too soon. He will have not one, but at least 2 home runs in the last week before this week's Write That Down. So I get to circle the bases.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
After he did it for the second time last night.
Glad for you. Very happy for you.
Punished a Michael Kopech fastball. Man, if you're the White Sox yesterday and you actually have a multi-run lead going into the 8th,
This is great. Yeah.
Even I'm not poking fun, but even the beat writers above, wow, they're putting this together, and then just a utter collapse in the 8th and 9th inning.
I think you can stop at he punished Michael Kopech.
I mean, he's had a better start to this season than he did last year, and at one time was one of the better.
He was one of the
I know, he was really good
most
at one
electric pitchers in baseball for a while.
100%. 100%.
Maybe a change of scenery would help him.
He was throwing
Maybe he should
99
just stay
yesterday too. He's still throwing gas. He's not throwing, slop or anything.
Gas that's going right out of the ballpark.
Okay, listeners, 2 predictions came off the board for the listeners. One of them 5 years in the making. Kevin said Byron Buxton will go on the injured list within 2 weeks of his first start in the outfield. Awfully negative, Kevin. And then our former producer, both at 1500 ESPN toward the end of our 1500 ESPN run, and then he was with us at the beginning of the Score North run. And you can hear him on Minnesota United pre, half, and post, and on Loon Talk podcast, Score North Podcast Network. Jonathan Harrison said 5 years ago, in the next 5 years, we will go to the moon again, meaning like a crewed mission to the moon, not like a rover. It's been, I believe, since 1972, the last time we sent an actual crew of American people to the moon. And we did not go to the moon at any point with a crew in the last 5 years.
Is going to the moon, now, considered that great a thing?
We haven't done it since 1972. We've obviously sent cameras up there and we keep an eye on it, but don't you think it's been a couple generations and we want to send someone up there and just
I don't think we care that much
kick
anymore.
around in soccer ball or something?
No, I don't think we care that much anymore. And plus, you know what? So if I did not know this, but if we went in 72, all anybody remembers and talks about 69, the first trip. So it's just sort of if I'm an astronaut, I'm don't send me there. No one's going to care. No one's going to remember my name. Neil Armstrong walked on the moon in 69, right?
Did you see Neil Armstrong?
72? Who cares?
I don't know how this fell into my TikTok algorithm. But there was a video of a conspiracy theorist approaching Neil Armstrong and confronting him and saying I know that this was in the studio, and Neil punched him.
Yeah,
I did see that. Yeah.
Yes, I've seen this.
Nice
video.
punch.
It was good, man. And then Declan, a couple things came off the board. Then we'll have to address one of them here. You said the Twins offense will score at least 10 runs in 2 different games in the last week.
They had to crawl to get to 10 total. But yeah.
But you did say, and I believe this is a home run, that the Wolves would win game 1 against the Suns and Anthony Edwards would drop at least 30 points in that game. Nice job, dude. So, and this third one here, it has to come off the board, but I was at the arena before game 1. I didn't see the NBA countdown. I didn't even see what their picks were, but you said at least 3 people on the NBA ESPN crew, the countdown crew, will pick the Timberwolves to lose their first round series.
I was going to even crowdsource this one on Saturday because I was looking for screens. Everyone always, when they do the NFL picks, they'll always take the screenshot and whatnot. And I was trying to find something, I couldn't find it. I don't know.
It might just be a void prediction.
I did some digging. If someone else can, if we want, it can be voided for now, 100%. I'm not gonna cause a fuss over it. But if someone can figure out on that panel crew that they did before the game, or at any point on this crew, if someone can find some type of evidence that suggests this happened or didn't happen, I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I was looking too. I was working the Twins game before that game started on Saturday too, so I never even saw it. It might be a void prediction.
Okay, so we'll just have to put that in a side bin. So with that, here's the 2024 season stats. Declan batting 400.
Yep.
I'm at 367. Listeners at 333. Judd all the way down at 212. But in Joey Gallo-like fashion,
It's time to
Judd
start.
does
Yeah.
have 3 home runs, tied for the lead with me and Declan listeners with 1 home run.
It's time to just start to hit bombs.
Oh, really? You're bailing on the? I mean, we still have
It might be
9 months left in the Write That Down
It might
season.
be time to. Yeah, but you know what? Screw it. I've never done this before. I've won the batting average title a few times, so I've been there, done that. I'm going out swinging from the heels.
Okay. So all-time, Declan has the highest batting average at 362. Judd has the most hits at 315. Listeners have the most home runs with 56 on the season. So there's your accountability session. All right, the 3 of us are going to go around the room
where Mike is.
3 different times.
Mike.
We'll start with Judd, over to Declan, and then back to me. Here we go, boys. Let's get it on.
All right, write this down. The Wolves obviously played next 2 games against the Suns in Phoenix, and they will split those games. In other words, they're going to come back to Target Center with a 3-1 lead. They're going to be in very, very good shape, and I think they will close out the Suns. But for the purposes of write this down, you know what? No, screw it. Screw it.
Oh, my.
Bleep it. At
Oh, my
212,
God.
with
God.
3 bombs, the Timberwolves will split the games in Phoenix and come back here in Game 5 and close out the Suns.
Okay.
Oh, isn't that what you were about to what were you going to predict?
I was just going to say that they were going to split.
I thought you were going sweep there with your...
Nope. I was going to say just a split of the games, but I don't think they're going to get back to Phoenix for Game 6.
So a split and then a clinching Game 5 is what you're saying.
Yep.
Is that a home? I mean, is that a home run?
So
It's
I had
2
for
predictions.
example, I said they're going to finish the game and finish the series in 5 games or less.
I had that exact one too.
So what is your exact prediction here? So they're
They're
going
going
to
to
split of the next
split
two.
in
I'm giving you-
Phoenix and
I'm
then
giving
win
you-
in Game 5.
I'm giving you 3 game predictions, which
Kind
is
of. You're
split
boxing.
in
You're
Phoenix.
boxing a parlay for one of them.
Yeah,
It's like an exacta box for one of
Yeah,
them.
it's a very intricate thing. I think it's a home run.
If you were to predict the exact 3 games outcome,
Okay, that's fine. They will lose Game 3. Timberwolves will. They will win Game 4. They will win Game 5.
okay. So we kind of just bullied Judd into a. But you're looking for home runs, so we're
But
trying to help you make these home runs.
Yeah. I want absolute clarification of what's a dong.
Okay. Well, that's maybe a different conversation. Declan, what is what is your first prediction?
All right. So the Wolves will finish the series in 5 games or less. That was my prediction. I thought maybe I got sniped there, but I didn't get sniped there. So the Wolves will finish
No,
this
you're
game,
fine.
and no matter how many scenarios, they will finish it in 5 games or less. So either a sweep or in 5 games.
Okay.
Write that down.
Okay. Well, that was literally my exact Wolves prediction. So I'll say this. Write this down. Excuse me. I feel like Naz Reid hasn't really gotten going in this series. He was okay in the first game. I think he only made 1 shot last night. So write this down. In one of these next 2 games, Naz Reid will hit at least 4 3-pointers in a game. I don't think he's hit 4 3-pointers before, so it's not necessarily a home run prediction, but I think we're going to get a Naz Reid game here in Phoenix. So in Phoenix, games 3 or 4, he will hit at least 4 3-pointers in a singular game. There you go.
Write that down.
Okay, Judd.
All right. The Timberwolves playoff run will be long enough that at some point in time, we are going to get a on-the-record quote. So not just, I talked to him and he said, yeah, an on-the-record quote from Michael Jordan comparing Anthony Edwards to himself.
So we already kind of have Chris Broussard already kind of
Did he get a direct quote? I thought I saw.
He talked to MJ like 2 or 3 weeks ago and said, he went on it wasn't a story. He went on TV and he said, I called MJ this week and I asked him, and then he quoted MJ on TV.
So I'm saying that you will either get MJ himself on TV or a direct quote in a story, not saying I talked to him and here's what he said, but you will get a on the record quote.
Okay. I think that's a home run. Yeah.
Write that down.
Back to the Dexter.
All right, write this down. I'll make a Twins one here. He's red hot, and in fact, I had this in my prep last night at the Twins game written down, and I'm not kidding. 2 minutes later, I had to rearrange it. But write this down. Byron Buxton will hit multiple home runs by next week's Write That Down. My original prediction was he would hit his first by next week's Write That Down.
They come in batches with him.
They do, and he's red hot right now. He's been swinging the bat really well the last few games. So he will hit multiple home runs by next week's Write That Down.
Okay.
Write that down.
Okay, write this down. In last year's NFL draft, I believe if my math is right, 5 offensive linemen went in the first round. Kind of a weaker offensive line draft. In this year's, I think, and they were all tackles, I'm pretty sure. This year there's like a center or two that could be in the mix. But here's my prediction. There will be at least 8 offensive linemen taken in the first round of this year's draft. Write it down. So 1 in every 4 picks will be an offensive lineman. It's going to be offensive line and quarterback heavy and wide receiver heavy. There's going to be like, if there's, let's say 8 offensive linemen, possibly like 5 wide receivers or maybe more depending, and then like 5 or 6 quarterbacks. It's going to be pretty crazy. So 8 or more offensive linemen drafted in the first round.
Write that down.
Okay. Before we make our final predictions here, gentlemen, and go around the room, let's shout out our friends over at Dennis Kirk and DennisKirk.com. It's riding season. Today is a beautiful day if you're into riding, all you Ragnars out there. So whether it's motorcycles, ATVs, UTVs, dirt bikes, go to DennisKirk.com. Check out over 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories, all the top brands, and also same-day shipping on orders placed before 8 p.m. Central, and free shipping on all orders over $89. Also, financing available as low as 0% for up to 12 months. That's DennisKirk.com, DennisKirk.com. Maybe you can ride your way out to Medina Entertainment Center, where this weekend, it's Trilogy, the ultimate tribute show, featuring the music of Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, and The Doors. Tickets for Trilogy on sale now at MedinaEntertainment.com, and we're giving away tickets in the Score North app as well, which is free to download.
Write that down.
Okay. Judd, what's your third and final prediction?
Back to the baseball. Well, the White Sox will be merciful and fire manager Pedro Grifol by June 1st.
Is it his fault?
No, but they're going to have to do something, and that poor guy, he can't be this bad a person to have to watch this crap for much longer. So I think they'll fire him by
don't you
June
think
1st.
they want? I mean, draft picks matter in baseball, not as much maybe as some other sports, but
Right.
wouldn't they want to just keep losing at this point? I mean, their season's over.
Oh yeah,
3-20.
I just think that, I mean, they're gonna have, or they've got 2,000 people there in the stands. There's no.
Dude, they should put Ozzy back in
excitement.
that dugout.
Oh God, can you imagine how great that would be?
He would murder somebody in that clubhouse, right?
Oh God, but can you imagine the pop that would get? You're right. That's a great that would
sell some
fantastic.
tickets. Watch Ozzy
100%.
fight with Hunter Wendelstedt tonight.
Well, people love him there, right?
Oh,
In
God.
Chicago.
Yeah, they
think
do.
so.
You got Laz Diaz on the home plate umpiring today too, by the way.
Yes.
Good luck to
Let's
Joe
go.
Ryan, who even last Friday when he had a board that would have gotten him out of the inning, that was a borderline 3-2 pitch and was as perfect as a strike as it could be. It's ball 4, and then it leads to a run eventually. And when asked about the pitch, Joe Ryan goes, "Oh, you mean the strike?"
Yeah.
And when asked what happened on that 3-2 pitch, and his response is, "Oh, you mean the strike?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck to Laz
Yeah,
Diaz
that one.
tonight.
That one.
Laz Diaz, CB Buckner, Angel,
God.
Wendelstedt. You're just screwed. It's over.
That's amazing.
Write that down.
Okay.
right.
Declan.
Yeah, one more from me. I had an open slot here, so let me make an impromptu Wolves prediction here. I'll go with Wolves. May as well. Naz Reid will drop at least 20 points in a playoff game in this series against the Suns. Mm-hmm. I think we'll get a Naz game. I'll buy kind of what Phil is also predicting a little bit. Naz Reid, write this down, will drop at least 20 points at some point in this series against the Suns.
That's kind of we talked about this on the post-game recap from Target Center last night, that if you're the Suns, what makes this even more demoralizing is you can't just rationalize it by saying, oh man, we just got blitzed. The Timberwolves just hit 19 threes in each of the first 2 games. The Wolves aren't even playing that great offensively. They're just playing incredible, swarming, smothering defense, and that's repeatable. So I can't imagine how the Suns are feeling. Like, boy, we really had their number in the regular season, and then this different version of this higher intensity version, a couple different matchup tweaks comes out, and there's not really an easy fix if you're the Suns. You go, well, hopefully they cool off from 3 or something, right?
Right.
The easy fix for the Suns is the hard way through. You just have to like be more physical and grind through the defense. And so, okay, along the lines of our clinching predictions here, stick with me on this one.
Okay.
Write this down. Luka Garza will score the final points for the Wolves in this series.
Oh, blowout win at the end, huh?
So I think we're going to get some Cigarza time. I think whether it's game 4, maybe it's game 7, I don't know, but the Suns will tap out and quit and wave the white flag.
Yep.
It'll be a celebration for the last 2 or 3 minutes. Luka Garza comes in, and he scores the final basket for the Wolves in this series. Write it down.
I think that's probably your hope is game 5.
It'd be at home would be a blast.
But I don't know the Wolves are going to rout the Suns in the second half like they have, like they especially did in game 2. But I could see the Suns working hard for a split.
Yeah,
coming back here and being like, it's not going to work for us this year.
I think you might have nailed it. Like, I could see Suns winning game 3. Okay, this is we got to show some pride here. We have a couple Hall of Famers.
And now we can tie it to the next game.
Yeah. Now, if Grayson, this is the problem. Like, if Grayson Allen can't go, so they're already playing an 8-man rotation with Grayson Allen, and if that ankle is blown up, and he hasn't really done anything in the first 2 games, but like they are better when he's on the court because you have to account for him. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, but they already prefer to play like a 7 or 8-man rotation as it is. They're not nearly as deep as the Timberwolves. If he can't play, maybe it is a sweep. I don't know. It's hard to be too confident with the Timberwolves because you never know. Like, there's just franchise inertia that holds you back from being.
I think winning 2 in Phoenix is going to be really tough.
Yeah,
but like we talked about last night, this series has turned out to be a terrible matchup for the Suns.
For the Suns, exactly. So, all right, boys, those are the Write That Down predictions, the accountability session every single Wednesday on both Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd and on Purple Daily if you want our final draft-related, like Vikings draft-related predictions. And, all across the Score North podcast, we have so many things for you this week. Billy Guerin on Judd's Hockey Show. Flagrant Howls is on fire. We were at Target Center last night, courtside, doing the post-game show. And then, obviously, it is a huge week for the Minnesota Vikings on Purple Daily with our draft party streaming live tomorrow night, Thursday night from the Fillmore, 7 o'clock p.m. on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.